Hi everyone. So now today we'll start inter-AS option. Okay, so basically what we'll do here, we'll be having two different ASs. Okay, we'll try to make the communication possible. And we do have some options here. So we'll discuss first of all today the option A. Okay, so inter-AS option A. So in this option, what we do basically, we use a concept of, or we can say a method of back-to-back VRF. We do have another inter-AS option, that is option B. So basically that is your ASBR to ASBR, or we can say MPEBGP. Okay, so in that configuration we'll configure MPEBGP or VPN v4 neighborship or EBGP VPN v4 neighborship in between ASBR to ASBR, and using those neighborship we'll try to exchange the routes using some import export values. Okay, and then what we have inter is option C. In that condition, what we do basically, we configure multi-hop EBG pairing. Sometimes what we do, we use a key router, or we can say we use route reflector to do this configuration, multi-hop EBGP configuration, and this RR will be responsible for all the communication then. Okay. One more thing here we have, that is CSC. That is your carrier supporting carrier. Okay. So there's carrier supporting carrier. What we do here basically, we just convert the customer edge and the provider edge device into again MPLS domain. It means even will extend the MPLS backbone to customer end also. So those things we'll discuss. So today we'll discuss first of all the inter-AS option A. Okay. So first we'll discuss the diagram. Okay. What will be the diagram and what configuration we'll do one by one. Okay. First of all, I'll tell the theory part. What theory we have to do here. Okay. Or and the lab part also. Okay. Let me wipe. Okay. So I'll come to the point now here. So this diagram we'll be using. Okay. So we'll be using here option A. That will be your back-to-back VRF. Okay. Now the very first thing, what we need here. So let's say this is your BGP AS number 100, your BGP AS number 200. So I'll configure first of all IGP protocol here. So that is OSPF1, OSPF1. So I'll make sure I will be having IGP protocol configured in between ISP core network. Okay. The second thing, I'll make sure over IGP, I'll be using MPLS LDP. It means IGP first of all in both core networks. Then I'll be running MPLS using that IGP. It means we are using OSPF, so we'll be using MPLS with OSPF here. Okay. The third thing, I will configure a BGP only for VPN v4 protocol. It means I'll configure IBGP neighborship in between 3 and 5 only for VPN v4. It means a VPN v4 IBGP neighborship in between R3 and R5. Now, the fourth thing, what we'll do here, so this belongs to the customer, or we can say PEC protocol. So right now, as we can see, we are using a switch in between 3 and 2 and 1, right? So I'll configure here F0 by 0.1, F0 by 0.2, okay. And we'll be using some VLAN here, and we'll give a VLAN to these interfaces, to these sub interfaces. And one more thing here, I'll put this interface into a VRF. So it means what we need here in first step, we'll configure sub interface. Okay, we will configure VRF and will assign the interface into the VRF. Okay, everywhere. Like here we have RIP protocol, here we have EIGRP. So after these things, I will be using the IGP protocol. So here we have RIP, EIGRP. Same here we have OSPF, and here I will configure a BGP neighborship in the VRF. So here we'll be having idea how we configure RIP protocol using a VRF, EIGRP protocol using a VRF, same OSPF and BGP in VRF. Okay, so it means till this point, what we'll be having a normal, this is basically a normal VPN configuration, a normal BGP configuration we can say, right? A normal BGP configuration, a normal BGP configuration, and finally we will touch the option A. How? We have two things to do here, two solutions we can apply here. The first, we can have multiple sub interfaces in between provider edge of this and the provider edge. We can say in between PE devices, we can have multiple physical interfaces, or we can configure multiple physical interfaces. Okay, sorry. So one option is your physical interface. Let's say we have two different customers, right? Customer one, customer two. So we can have two different physical interfaces, or we can have two sub interfaces over a single link. So that is F0 by 0. So what I will configure here, F0 by 0 dot 1 dot 2 dot 1 dot 2. We'll configure some VLAN here. Okay, we'll assign some VLAN, and then I'll put these interfaces into a different VRF. So basically what is happening here, we need in this back-to-back VRF, we need one link per VRF, or we can say we have VRF per customer. So if we have, let's say, two customers, so right now we can see we have two customers, right? So this is the customer one, customer two, customer two. So we'll be having same loopback address, same here, same loopback addresses. So this will try to communicate this loopback address, and same here from this user, this will try to communicate this loopback address. Okay. So if we have two customers, we need two VRF. So these two customers, two VRF and two sub interfaces. Okay. It means we need to have per VRF, per link, or per customer, right? Now, once we configure this solution, this is, sorry, this is will assume this is my customer and I'm the provider edge. So it means this ACE will treat that as CE device, this router, and same here, this ACE will treat that as CE device. It means what we have here, a normal PE, CE, or we can say again CE, PE configuration. It means a normal VPN v4 neighborship here, a normal VPN v4 neighborship here if we have BGP, or what we can do here, we have two different links, two different VRF. Okay, so what we'll configure here, a BGP with VRF. That's it. No worries. Okay. Next. Till this point we have done everything. Okay. And one more thing here. Once we use the solution, the back-to-back VRF solution, first of all, the both ISPs will never share any internal routing protocols, right? Or routing protocols, we can say, I'm saying like routes. So let's say this device has some routes, this core has some routes. So these routes will not be here, and these routes of this core will never be here. It means we will just configure a neighborship over these links, and these links will just pass the customer traffic to this one, or the customer routes to this one, and same here from this customer to this one. It means these routers will not be having other ACE information, never. And if I talk about the labels, because what we need here, we need some labels. to make the communication, right? So when we come to the labels, so we will be having labels only from here to here. It means this path will be labeled, this path will be labeled, and here this will be a unlabeled output. It means what we will be having here. So once this user will try to send the data to this one, that will come here. So it means here I'll be having a layer 3 packet, but here with MPLS some labels, right? Once R5 will put the data here, what we'll be having here, a normal layer 3 packet. So once R6 will put the packet inside this core, again that will be having some labels, and finally out the core will be having only a clean packet. It means over this link, it means we can say between PE, we do not have any labels, right? So these things here we have. Okay, so let's start doing the task. First, I will complete this ACE, then I will complete this ACE, okay, and then I'll be configuring these one by one. And this option, so that's the very last option that we will configure here. Okay, now let's start the configuration. So basically, first of all, I have to do IP addressing here. So this is our new topology. I'll just do some quickly. Okay. I'm just doing a IP addressing here. So I'll just skip this part, the IP addressing part. Okay. In this video only. So now I have done the IP addressing here. Okay. So in between 5 is what we are using. So let me just note it down here. So I'm using here F0 by 0.1 with a subnet of 56005. And here I am using 6. This has two sub interfaces with 2, and this is reverse 65, and same here we have 50, which is 65 birds. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so now let's do the configuration first of all in this AS, then I'll be doing the configuration here. Okay, so let's start from 3, 4, and 5. So router OSPF1, network 34.0.0.0.255.255.255 area 0. Network, I'll just put the Lubex also, the part of OSPF, and MPLS LDP auto config area 0. It means I'll use MPLS with my protocol, IG protocol. Router OSPF1, so I can use here network 0.0.0.0.0, right? And MPLS LDP auto config area 0. That is fine. Let's go to R5. Same, I'll put here interface based OSPF, loopback 0, IP OSPF1, area 0. But for the configuration, okay, OSPF will not operate in this mode. Okay, so I think we do have some issues. I don't have a loopback 0, IP address 5555. So I'll just run again the same configuration. Okay. And finally, router OSPF1, MPLS LDP auto config area 0. So whatever interfaces we have in this process, just run MPLS LDP. And just wait for 30 seconds, or 40 seconds. So the neighborship will be up in OSPF and the MPLS LDP will be up. Okay, neighborship is up. We have the reachability. MPLS is also up. Fine. So we have done MPLS, we have done OSPF. Now I will configure a normal BGP neighborship with VPN v4 address family. Router BGP, I may use ASMR 100. So I'll just remove the default BGP IPv4 unicast. No BGP, default IPv4 unicast. Okay. Now, who is my neighbor? 555 is my neighbor. Remote AS is also 100. Use update source loopback 0 and go in address family VPN v4 neighbor just to activate for this neighbor. That's it. And go on R5, router BGP 100. Now we need to configure no BGP default IPv4 unicast and my neighbor, that is 3.3.3.3. Remote AS is 100 and use update source loopback 0. Go in the address family VPN v4 and say activate to this neighbor. The neighbor will be activated this way. Neighbor is activated. Okay. So we do have a VPN v4 neighborship here in this core. That is fine. The VRF part we'll do later. Okay. Once we start with the CP routing. Now I'll come to the next is this one and we'll do the same configuration. Okay. I'll go R6. So router OSPF1. So I'll put the network 67. I'll put the loopback address. And I'll run MPLS LDP auto config area 0. Fine. Let me check, do we have loopback address or not? Yes, we have loopback address. Fine. I'll go to R7, router OSPF1, network. So I can put here 000, no problem. And MPLS LDP auto config area 0. It means whatever interfaces we have in this process, just run MPLS LDP. Let's go to R8. Interface range F2 by 0 and loopback 0. IP OSPF1 area 0 and router OSPF1 MPLS LDP auto config area 0. So just wait for a few seconds, like 40 seconds. The neighbors will be up in OSPF and the MPLS LDP neighbors will be up. So basically in the MPLS, in the background, what they are doing here, they're using loopback addresses to form the neighborship in MPLS LDP. And once the IGP will be up, then only this MPLS will be up. Reason, they are using loopback addresses. So before neighborship of MPLS, the loopback addresses should be reachable. And how they will be reachable? Using IGP protocol. So after OSPF neighborship, the routers will be having MPLS neighborship. Look here, we have the log. Now we'll be having the MPLS neighborship. Finally, we have the MPLS neighborship. Cool. Now I'll configure a BGP VPN v for neighborship in between 6 and 8. Router BGP 200. No BGP default IPv4 unicast. Neighbor, that is 8.8.8.8. Remote AS is 200. On this, so it's 2.0. And activate. Say exit, just go to R8 in the same way. Router BGP 200. No BGP default IPv4 unicast. Neighbor 6666. Remote AS is 200. Neighbor 66666. Update source is loopback 0. And address family VPN v4. Just put this neighbor with activate feature. And the neighborship will be up. The neighborship is up. Okay. Now we do have here IGP, MPLS, LDP, and we have BGP over the IBGP neighborship here in VPN v4 neighborship. Now I'll come to the point. Now I'll configure these interfaces into a VRF. Okay. and we'll try to configure those IGP protocols in between P and C. Okay, so let's start with R2, R3, and R1. IP VRF customer A. Okay, I'll put a RD value, so that is, let's say, 1 and 3. So I'll make it 13, 13. Exit. IP VRF customer B. I'll put here RD 2 and 3. So I'll take 23, 23, the RD value. Okay, so do show run interface F0 by 0.1. I have to make sure the address is what address is here we have, because once I'll assign the VRF to the interface, all the V4 configuration will be removed, right? So V4 and basic configuration will be removed. The interface F0 by 0.1 IP VRF forwarding your customer A. Okay, your VPN V4, sorry, your IPv4 addresses are removed. So I'll just configure IPv4 address. Interface F0 by 0.2 IPVRF forwarding B. Now look here. Do show run interface F0 by 0.2. So what it will do, it will just remove your IPv4 address. It will not remove your other configuration like encapsulation and other things, right? So you can configure like this. Just configure your IP address. No need to copy your VLAN information. Do show IP interface brief. So now we have to make sure these interfaces are the part of the VRF. How? Do show IP VRF. So using this interface command, we can check, okay, we do have the IP addresses. Now using this command, we can verify these interfaces are the part of same VRF. Fine. Now I will run PECE protocol. So in between 1 and 3, so we are using RIP protocol. So router, RIP, address family, IPv4 for VRF. Which VRF? That is your first customer A. And the network. So right now, how many interfaces are the part of customer A VRF? There is only single, that is F0 by 0.1. So if I try to configure this, it will just take the interface F0 by 0.1. I'll use version 2. I will say no to summary. Now I'll go to R1. Router RIP, no to summary, version 2, and this puts the network 0, 0. So once we do this configuration, if we have a full reachability, what we have done here, this interface is a part of a VRF, that is VLAN 13, sorry, VLAN ID, and this interface is a part of another VLAN, that is 23, and this port is a trunk port. So basically, what scenario we are using here? We are using a case of router on stick, right? This is like we do have sub interfaces here, a VLAN ID, and a trunk port. It means if even they both want to communicate, they have to come like this. But right now the VRF is different. The data from this user will land on another VRF. Same here, the data from this user will land on the other VRF. If we don't have any VRF here, so definitely they can communicate via this device. But right now we have VRF, so the data will be separated. Okay. Now, so I can go to R2 and I can go to R3 and can verify these things. How? Do show IP route VRF customer A. And look here, we are getting the loopback address. Now I'll just do the same configuration for this neighbor, right? Let's do router AIGRP1, address family IPv4, VRF, which VRF your customer B, and autonomous number, that is 1. I can again run network 0, 0, 0. Let's go to R2, router AIGRP1, and here we can see the neighborship log. So once I'll put the command network 0, 0, 0 here, and that is the part of correct VRF, so the neighborship will be up, and the neighborship is up. Now we can verify do show IP route, sorry, VRF customer B, and we have the route that is 12 route. Perfect. So till this point, we have all the routes into the VRF, into the correct VRF. Okay. Now the same I will do on R8. So just come to R8. So do show IP VRF. We do not have any VRF here. IP VRF customer A. RD value. So that is 89. So I'll put 89 now. Problem. Then I'll put 80 and 80 because we do have other address 8080. That's fine. We do have VRF now. This is the time to make sure like the interface should be part of same VRF. Do show IP interface brief. So we have two different interfaces. Now just run the the running configuration for two also. Okay, cool. F0 by 0.1 IP VRF forwarding. So that is customer A. Not this one, this one. Okay, now just do copy and paste these addresses. F0 by 0.2 and put it B. Run this. Verification, do show IP interface brief. We do have these things. Do show IP VRF, and we do have these things also. Okay, like these interfaces are part of these VRF. So now we have to run another process. So right now R8 is already having a process OSPF1, but right now I'll be using a different process OSPF2 with a different VRF. Cool. So router OSPF2 with VRF. VRF name is customer A. Okay, and then again I can put network 0 address area 0. Fine, no problem. Let's go to R9. Router OSPF1 network 0 and area 0. Cool. So they will take again 40 seconds to convert the topology in OSPF. Let's wait. Cool. The neighborship is up. And how we can verify again? Do show IP route VRF customer A. And we can see we have that route 90909090. If I'll check do show IP OSPF database. So we can see, look here, we have two different processes. This is a process ID 1 with router ID 8.8.8.8, and this is a process ID 2 with a different router ID, because we cannot have the same router ID for different processes also. Okay, so here we have OSPF process ID 2, and we can see that loopback we are receiving as a, let's say, one file, do show IP route, VRF customer, okay, all good. Now I'll configure a BGP neighborship in between these two customers, these two routers. Router BGP 200. So now that is in the VRF, right? The F0 by 0.2 that is having address 80008. The interface is a part of VRF customer B. So address family IPv4 VRF. VRF name is customer B. Who is my neighbor? My neighbor is 80.0.0.10. And what is the remote AS? The remote AS is only 10. So I can see here the remote BGP AS number we are using, that is 10. I'll go till this point. I'll go to now R10, router BGP 10. Who is my neighbor? So this is having a global table, so no need to configure any special feature here. 80.0.0.8, and the remote ACE we have to configure. The remote ACE is 200, and the neighbors should be up. Neighborship is up. So once I check here, so I can directly run do show IP BGP summary. We can have the command here. We can have the output. So this is only for the IPv4, right? So if I'll go here on R8 and I want to see a specific neighborship for a specific address family. So if I'll run a command, show IPVGP all summary, it means I can see my IPv4 neighborship, VPN v4 neighborship, the VPN v4 multicast, MP VPN v4 multicast, right? Everything we can see. But right now, what I want here, I just want to see a VPN v4 unicast neighborship. So show BGP VPN v4 unicast all summary. So it will show me all the VPN v4 unicast address families and sorry, VPN v4 unicast neighborship. So we do have two neighbors. One is my IBGP neighbor, and the next one that is my EBGP neighbor, that is R10. One more thing here, show IP route VRF customer B. So right now, as I cannot see any route because earlier, when I was doing the configuration for RIP protocol, EIGRP, and OSPF. So once we use a network command, right? So using the network command, they will try to form a neighborship and they will also inject a route also, right? But now we are using BGP on R10. So specifically, we have to advertise the loopback address, okay, in BGP because we are using here a network neighbor command. So using neighbor command, it will just form a neighborship, a BGP neighborship, but using network command, it will try to inject the route into the BGP. So the network 90.90.90.90. I have to specify the mask also. Enter. Do show IP BGP. So we have this route in the BGP table. So let me make sure like we are sending the route or not. Do show IP BGP neighbor. Who is my neighbor? My neighbor is 80008 and check the advertised route. Now we can see the advertised route here. Now I'll go to R8. And here also we can see the route. So we are receiving the route in my BGP address family, and we can also see in the routing table also. So look here. We have that route in the routing table also, right? So everywhere we are getting all the routes in the VRF table. So everything we have right now. So what we have, I'll just explain one more time. Till this point, we have routes in the VRF address family. Till this point, we have the routes in the VRF address family, right? Now, what we have to do, we have to make sure those routes should be available for the BGP. Same here, we have to make sure those routes should be available for the BGP. And for that thing, we have to do a redistribution in BGP. RIP to BGP, EIGRP to BGP, OSPF to BGP, but not from BGP to BGP. Because if we have a BGP and BGP neighborship, in that condition, the BGP redistribution is not required by default. That will smoothly send the routes to BGP neighborship. Okay, so we need three tasks here right now. The first, RIP to BGP. The second, EIGRP to BGP. The third, we need OSPF to BGP, right? So these things we have to do just to inject the route into BGP, and then we'll do the next task. So let's start from R3. Router BGP 100. So I'll make sure like we do have some routes or not. So do show BGP, VPN, v4, unicast all. So right now we don't have any route in BGP or a VPN v4 route. Okay. Address family IPv4 VRF. Which VRF? The VRF is customer A. Redistribute. What I have to redistribute? RIP is a protocol that is a part of customer A. RIP. That's it. Nothing else I have to do. I can run the command do show BGP VPN-v4 unicast all to see those routes. And look here. Now we have those routes. Into which VRF? Into this VRF. That is having customer A name. Now next thing, address family IPv4 VRF customer B. Again, do a redistribution. For which protocol? AIGRP, that is having AS number 100. Fine. And we can see the routes here. Cool. So we have those routes into the BGP. All good. Now come to R8. Router BGP 200. Now we have 200 here. Address family IPv4 VRF. Okay, let me make sure one thing. Do show BGP. We can do show. Yeah, BGP. We can v4 unicast all. So we already have a route in VPN v4 address family that is getting via customer B. So that's why we don't and we need any redistribution from BGP to BGP, right? Address family IPv4 VRF your customer B. Sorry, this is customer A. Because that has OSPF. Redistribute OSPF. Now what I have to redistribute? OSPF 2. We do have two OSPF processes, but OSPF 2 is a part of this customer. Do show BGP, VPN v4, unicast all. So we can see this route and we can see this route in this layer. So now what we have till this point, everything we have, right? It means now we have those routes into BGP. We have those routes into BGP. What we have to do in the VRF A, in the VRF B, we have that route, we have that route. We have to make sure R5 should receive the A route into A and the B route into B. Same from here to here and from here to here. So I'll just configure some VRF on R5, customer A VRF, customer B VRF. Okay. And then I'll be using some import export values. I'll be using an export value here to import the route here. Okay. Same one export value and we'll import that value here. And same I'll do for this neighbor. Okay. Do show IP VRF. We don't have any VRF till this point. IP VRF customer A RD value. So let me make it 5. No worries. I'll make it 50 because here we have to use a different RD value. Okay. I'll make it 50. So 50. Access IP VRF customer B. And what I need here, I need a RD that is 51 colon 51. Fine, no problem. Now do show IP interface brief. We have to make sure these interface should be the part of VRF. Do show run interface f0 by 0 dot 1 and dot 2 also interface f0 by 0 dot 1 IP VRF forwarding. So that is customer A VRF and just configure the IP address. Interface f0 by 0 dot 2 customer B with the IP address of 64.5. Okay, so this should be 65.5. Do show IP interface brief. Do show IP VRF. So all good. So these two interfaces are the part of VRF. Very good. Okay. Now I'll just use some import export values to receive the route from here to here. Right. If I'll check here, do show IP BGP. Sorry, do show BGP. We can V for unicast all neighbor. Who is my neighbor? 555 is my neighbor. Advertise route. I want to check. So right now we are advertising the route, but that will not receive the route. Do show IP BGP all. We are not getting any route in VPN for unicast. So that is sending, but we are not receiving. Reason, by default the routers filter the routes and does not receive anything. So IPVRF customer A route target export. So what I want to export here? So export 13:13. Okay, and go to R5 IPVRF customer A. Sorry, and route target import. What I want to import here? That is 13:13. And now we can see do show BGP. We can V4 unicast or we have those routes now. In this VRF, we are getting these routes, right? Now, just do it for the another VRF, IPVRF B. What I want to export 23:23. I'll go to R5. We'll do the same configuration, IPVRF customer B and route target import 23:23. Fine. Now what I have to do, I have to check the route. So we are receiving everything here, right? We have all the routes into these VRF customer A, customer B. Now the same I'll do with 6 and 8. So I want to check here, first of all, do we have any route or not? No. IPVRF customer A, route target import 88:88. After this command, oh, we don't have any VRF. Sorry. Okay. So RD value, so let's make it 6:6. IPVRF customer B, I'll make it 66:66. Exit. Do show run interface F0/0.1 and .2 also. IP interface F0/0.1. Just IP VRF forwarding customer A. Okay, and just do the IP addressing again, no problem. Interface F0/0.2. Make sure customer B and this configuration. Do show IP interface brief. Perfect. Do show IP VRF. Yes, these interfaces are the part of VRF. Let me remove this forwarding. Cool. IP VRF customer A Route target import. What I have to import? Okay, before this, let me show you one thing. Do show IPBGP on. We don't have any route. IPVRF and VRF name is customer A. Route target import. So that was exporting 88 colon 88. So after this command directly, it will start receiving the route. We have the route. Perfect. IPVRF customer B. So I have to do some export here. IPVRF customer B. Route target export. Let me make it 8 colon 8. No worries. Same here. We have to import 8 colon 8. And once I'll do this task, I'll be having n numbers of routes. Look here. We do have routes in customer A VRF. We do have routes in customer B VRF also. All good. So till this point, everything is fine. What we have here till R5, we have all the routes. Till R6, we have all the routes. Now we have to make sure how R5 and R6 will exchange the route. So I'll configure eBGP protocol in between 5 and 6. Okay. So let's do the configuration. Neighbor 5600. Okay, that is a part of VRF. IPVRF. VRF name is address assembly IPv4 VRF customer A. Neighbor, who is my neighbor? 6006 is my neighbor. Remote is, what is the AS number? That is 200. Fine. Address assembly IPv4 VRF. What customer? Customer B. Neighbor is 65006 and the remote AS is 200. All good. Just go to R6 and do the same configuration, this reverse configuration. Router BGP 200. Now we have to do a configuration in BGP for this eBGP neighborship in VRF. Address assembly IPv4 VRF. So VRF name is customer A. Okay. And now the neighbor. Who is my neighbor? 56005 and the remote is here, that is 100. Customer B. The remote is 100 and this neighbor is 65. Let's wait for the configuration. The neighborship log. All good. Now let's check. Do show IPBGP all. Now we should receive the 12th network here. And we are getting the 12th network here. Fine. Let's go to R5. Do show IPBGP all. Very awesome. We are getting the route here. Right. I'll go to R8. We'll check like we are receiving the route here or not because R6 is getting all the routes, but not R8. I'm sure do show IPBGP all. We are not getting the routes. So now what is happening here again? Till R6, R5, these routers are sending the route from here to here using those export value and import value and using eBGP that is sending directly to another neighbor. Now I want to send that route from here to here. So I have to do export here and import here. Then only R8 will start receiving the route, right? Let's do it. Go to R6, IPVRF, customer A, route target export. So 68 colon 68, R8, IPVRF, customer A, route target import 68 colon 68. Do show IPBGP all. Now we are receiving the certificate. Correct. The 12th network we are getting here in the customer A VRF. In the customer B, we should receive the 12th. So just do the same thing. Export value in this VRF, import value same here. IPVRF customer A, route target export 66 colon 66, and just do the same thing. IPVRF customer B, route target import 66:66 and do show IP BGP all. And look here. Now we have the route in the customer B VRF. Fine. Same to receive routes from here to here. We have done export import. We have done. They will receive R5 will receive that 90s route. Let me show you. So R5 is receiving the 90s route, but not R3. We're not having those routes. Again, I have to do some export value, some import value here. I'll go R5 IPVRF customer A route target export value. So let me make it 55. IPVRF customer A route target import. So I was exporting 55. So once I'll run this command, do search BGP all, I'll be receiving the route. And we are getting the route, 90s route from R5. So to R5 IPVRF customer B, route target export 5.5, I'll take. Same here, IPVRF customer B, route target import 5.5. So once I'll do this, do show IPBGP all, they will all start receiving the route. Perfect. In customer B we are having those routes, all good. So it means what we have done here, a normal import export, those import export are local to the AS, those import export again are local to the AS, and these BGP neighborship, they are using, they are just like a transport, they are just putting, getting some routes from here to here and routes from here to here. That's it, nothing else they are doing. Okay. Now, what we need to do here, these routers should receive the route. So let's make sure, let's go to these routers and check like they are receiving the neighbor route or not. But right now, definitely they will not receive, some configuration are missing here. So I'll go to R1, do show IP route. We are not getting the route, do show IP route. We are still not getting the route. I'll go to 9 and 10. Do show IP route, no routes. Do show IP routes. So here I'll receive just because of that BGP neighborship. Because as I told you, in BGP, if we have BGP everywhere, we don't need any redistribution. If let's say I'll use a different protocol here. Right now I'm using BGP. But if I'll use here, let's say OSPF or any protocol, in that condition, we need to do export, redistribution, again here to here redistribution, here to here redistribution. So when we use BGP, the task of redistribution will be none. So here we are using BGP, so we don't have any kind of redistribution. But right now here we have IGP protocol, so we need a redistribution. So we will do a mutual redistribution from BGP to RIP protocol and BGP to EIGRP to get those routes here, and then finally from RIP to BGP. Okay, the RIP to BGP we have done already. That part we have done. We have to do a redistribution from BGP to IGP only. Okay, let's go to R3. Router RIP, address family IPv4 VRF. VRF name is customer A. Redistribute BGP AS number 100. What I have to redistribute? I have to make sure a metric, because whenever we do a redistribution in a distance vector, we have to make sure we are using a metric. Now this should receive the route. We are getting the route here. All good. These are the routes. Go to R2. 3 again. Router EIGRP1, address family IPv4 VRF customer P. Redistribute BGP 100 again with metric. So once I choose customer A, it means it will just redistribute BGP routes. Those are having in customer A. Same here, it will distribute BGP 100. All the routes, those are present in customer B via, right? So first we have bandwidth, delay, reliability, load, MPU. Like this here we have. R2 should receive the route, getting the route. I'll go to now R8, router OSPF2. So every time no need to define the VRF because only for the first time, once we start the configuration or the initial configuration, we have to specify router OSPF2 and the VRF. Then process 2 will always be the part of VRF. So if you're defining VRF, if you are not defining VRF, that doesn't matter. This process will always be the part of VRF. Redistribute BGP ACE number is 100 using subnet keyword because once we use subnet, it means we are doing redistribution for all the routes. It means classless and classful routes. Oh, sorry. So I'll go to R9, do show IP routes, and we should receive the route, and we are getting the route. Sometimes, like basically, it will take some time to get the route, like few seconds. To generate database, the LSFI, that's fine. Do show IP route. So here also we are getting those routes 12, 12, 12, 12. So before doing a trace route, like to which neighbor we are sending the information, so I'll make sure I'll show you one thing. At what time we'll be having what label, at what time we'll not be having any label. Okay. I'll show you one ping. First of all, do ping that is reachable. Fine. So once I'll do a trace from here, the first hop will be 13.3 and will not be having any label because that's a layer 3. The next hop will be 34.4, then it will be 45.5, then it will be 56.6, then it will be 67.7, okay, then it will be 78.8, then it will be 89.9. Now we'll talk about the MPLS label. So here we don't have any label, 34.4. So I'll go here. I'll show you how we identify these things. Do show IP BGP, check your BGP table from which neighbor you are getting the route. So I can see I'm getting that 90, 90, 90 customer A from a where of 5555 from the customer 5555. Now run the command do show MPLS forwarding table. In the forwarding table, I have to make sure to reach 55555, what is outgoing label? That is 17. So it will be having a 17 label. So to reach 55555, we need a label that is 17. Do show IP BGP. Do show BGP VPN v4 unicast all label. Now one more thing here. That's the VPN v4 neighbor, right? The VPN v4 will be having some labels. Now to reach 555 from the customer A for 90, the outgoing label, look here, this in label, the out label, that is 19. It means this will be having a slash 19. Okay. So we have two labels. So if you are good in MPLS and those things, right? So you'll be having this idea. So this is MPBGP label. So from MPLS, we have this path available with this label 17, and above the MPLS L3, the MPBGP label that is 19. The outgoing label is 19. That's why here we have 19. Very cool. I'll show you these things. Now the next, I'll go to R5, sorry, R4. Do show MPLS forwarding table. So to reach 5.5.5.5, I have to pop the label. That means the device will remove 17 and it will be having only a label, single label less, that is 19. This is the label. Okay. The same label here. Now the next thing, I'll go to R5. Do show BGP within V4 all label. Unicast. Sorry. Customer A to reach 90, 90, 90, 90, I'll receive a VRF 19. If that will be in label 19, outgoing label will be no label. It means now we will not be having any label. So in this hope, we will not be having any label. I'll go to R6 now. Do show IP, BGP, all. So I'm getting 90, 90, 90, 90 from R8. I'll check first of all MPLS label. Do show MPLS forwarding table. So to reach 8888, what is an outgoing level? That is 17. So it will be 17 by. Now I have to check the MPBGP label. Do show BGP VPN V4 unicast all labels. So to reach 888 something, right? That is customer A 8888 490 route, that is 21. Outgoing label is 21. Out 21. So it will be 21 here. I'll go to 7 then. So it will do basically a pop. So I have to pop here for 8. So it will not be 17 now. It will remove 17 and will put just 21 from here to here. Okay. And finally, if I'll go to the next router, do show IPBGP and do show BGP all. That is via this neighbor. Do show BGP VPN V4 unicast all label. So customer A, for this one, no label. It means now it will remove everything and we will not be having any kind of label here. Now let's do it for from this neighbor. So only the first row will be changed. That will be 23.3. Okay. And to reach 5, the MPLS label will be same 17. I'll check this label. Again here 60. This will be a 65.6 because it will go into this VRF, right? That's why 65.6 is the path. And this will be the same 67.6, 78.8, right? And here again, that will be having a label number 17. I'll check what is the MPLS label, MPBGP label. And finally here, the next one will be 80.10. So let's check the label, MPBGP label. Go to R3. From the customer B to reach 90, what is outgoing label? That is 21. Finally, here we have 21 and 21. Okay, and the label is missing on R6. To reach 90, for the customer B, we have label number 19. So label number 19, label number 19. That's it. So once I'll do a trace from R1 to the loopback address, this will be the output with these labels. And once I'll do it from R2, these will be the output with these labels. Okay. So let's start from R1. I'll show you these labels even in the packet capture. Do trace, even here we can see those trace. First of all, I will verify you the hops. 13.3, it is 13.3, 34.4, 45. Oh, okay. So it is putting the packet in here. So it is not taking this one, it is taking this interface. So this is got 5 and 6. It means both entities are same, so no worries. Then it is taking 67.6. Then it is taking like again not this interface, the outgoing interface. 89.8, 89.9. So till this point everything is fine. The hops are fine. Now the labels. No label, fine. Label number 17, 19, all good. Label number 19, fine. Now again no labels here. 17, 21, fine. Then finally we have 21 and then no labels. All good. And now from R2, okay, we do have some issues, but till this point 23.3, 34.4, then 65.6 and 6, and 17, 21 and 21. So till this point everything's fine. We have to make sure what is the issue in this MPLS store. Okay, so I'll just do it from here. So this part is fine. I have to make sure why this part is not fine. I'll go to R6, do show MPLS neighbor. To reach 8.8.8, learning level 17, fine. Do show IP route. To reach 8, 67.6, all good. It will pop the label, we will send it to S2 by 0, all good. And for this set is no label, it will see 21. Sorry, 19, 90, 90, 90. That is also fine. And do show IP route. I am getting 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. Mhm. We have 25, what is the issue here? Do ping 1PLS IPv4. The MPLS code is fine because the first trace from the first customer to second customer is fine. Okay. Even the MPLS string is fine. We do have some issues in the import export, I think. Do show IP, BGP all. 98 is getting. Everything is fine. Let me make it from here. We do have some issues here. Okay, so do ping 30008, that is secure. Okay, I'll go to R8. The MPLS score is also fine. The customer B is here. Okay, we have some issues. Go to IPVRS. Okay, this was the issue. So what I am exporting on R8, this was sending the traffic into other VRS. That's right. So we in B, customer B, we are exporting 60, 66. This should not be here. This should be here. And IPVRF customer B, I have to remove this command. So this was a mistake here. Oh, sorry. From the customer A, I have to remove. And in customer B, I have to run. So this was the big issue here. IPVRF, all good. Now I can get the traffic. All good. And even we do have those labels also. That is fine. So till this point, what we have done, this enter is option A. Okay. I'll show you the labels also. So I'll show you here labels. So in the trace, we can see we have two labels, right? So I'll show you these two labels. Start capture. I'll do a ping. It's source loopback 0. So I can open any of these packets. So look here, we have two labels here, right? Label 1, label number 17, label number 19. So this the above layer, so this will keep changing, but this is the MPBGP label, right? I'll do one more thing. I'll show you one configuration. Saying 90.90.90.90, source loopback 0, and source string. I was just trying to change the code. Just 1 minute. Okay. Okay. No worries. Leave it. Okay. So in the option B and C, I'll show you like these experimental bits also used. Okay. So what will happen here? Like right now they're just doing copy and paste of the TTL. So that time I'll show you how we can just put some experimental bits or how we can prioritize the data in the MPLS core also. So those things we can see. Okay. So till this point, what we have done the enter is option A, and the method name is back-to-back VRF. So these things we have done here. Okay. And this is the diagram. So this diagram and the configuration file and this lab I'll share. Everything I'll share in the link. Okay, in the description you can check the link for this lab and for the lab file also, the configuration file of these routers. So you can do the same practical in your GNS3. Okay, and that's it. So if you feel any issue, like if you get any doubts, anything, just text me. I'll be available. Okay. And if you face any doubt in the lab also, so I'll help you to set up this lab and just to um, do a end-to-end ping and reachability using this interface option A, back-to-back layer. Bye, guys.